AS Media Evaluation by Annabel Street. Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? Conventions used in film production and within opening titles are the location of the film, the title of the film, costumes and props, camera work and editing, text, fonts and style, narrative of the film, genre, characters and special effects. To find and understand these conventions, I deconstructed several films, including ones of similar genre and target audience to mine. For example, The Odd Life of Timothy Green or Nowhere Boy. The first shot of my film is of a teenage girl walking by a field. This gives the audience clues towards the narrative. We can guess that she is going to be the main character as we see her first. We can also see that she's not happy, illustrating that the film could be about why she looks this way. The use of a voiceover in my titles also shows the film is from her point of view and she is the main character. The voiceover also gives clues towards the narrative but keeps the audience wondering what's going to happen in the film. The title of my film is Moonflower. This doesn't mean anything to people who haven't watched the film, which adds mystery, making people want to watch it. The words would be mentioned with some significance during the film and they are quite pretty and girly, suggesting the audience and the narrative to the film. The font I have used is quite simple and cartoon-like, making it fun and friendly. I chose to make it yellow as it is easily readable against the background and it is a subtle, calming and peaceful colour. Conventionally, the last name to appear is the director's. To make it stand out, I used a larger and different colour font. The font I have used for other text in the opening sequence is very simple so the audience doesn't get distracted from the film. It is in a white font so it is readable against all backgrounds. The white also reflects the calm tone of the film. The genre of my opening titles is drama. This is suggested by the shot of a college as the voiceover says, "I've got to start a new college." This shows the audience the simple everyday location of the film, which is conventional of the drama genre. There are no key props in my opening titles as I feel they were unnecessary. However, the choice of costume is important as it can add reality if she's in clothes that you would expect a teenage girl to be wearing. In this shot you see my character dressed in a dungaree dress, Harrington jacket and Doc Martens, which is what you might expect a stereotypical teenage girl to wear. This suggests the target audience, also teenage girls, that the character could be relatable and similar to them. I used a range of camera shots and angles in my opening titles. This medium close-up shot shows my character's facial expressions and some of her surroundings. She looks sad and serious, reflecting the narrative. We also see that she's quite isolated as she's in the middle of a field with no one around her, which also gives clues to the narrative and an insight into how she's feeling. I have also used this shot of her shoes as she walks through a field, as the low camera angle is interesting. The audience also sees more of the character's outfit, Doc Martens, so they can see her style and possibly assume her personality. In this high angle shot, which contrasts with the earlier low angle shot of her shoes, we see the character's costume again. In this shot we also see her crossing the bridge, which symbolises the change she's making from one life to another. The slow camera movements used throughout and the water in the river give a relaxed feel to the film and also suggest the calm tone of the narrative. For example, the camera slowly zooms in towards the building, showing its significance. There is a flashback in my opening titles which gives clues about the narrative. We understand something bad may have happened in the past, but we are unsure what, but still leaves the audience wanting to watch on and find out what happened. To help the audience understand it's a flashback, I have used a white fade before and after the flashback clips, and also my characters wearing different clothes. Question 2. How does your media product represent particular social groups? The main character in my opening titles represents a stereotypical teenage girl. It is conventional for teenagers to be struggling to understand their feelings and the adult world, making them seem rebellious and angry with everyone. My character follows these conventions as she feels annoyed with society and is trying to escape growing up and becoming a phony, which is how she views everyone in the adult world. However, my character subverts the expectations of a teenage girl as she separates herself from others, unlike a stereotypical teenager wanting to be sociable and popular. My character is also part of a high-class social group which she rebels against, causing her to be an unconventional high-class citizen. Although she has a good formal upbringing, she doesn't want to do well and tries to escape this background and forgets the past. My character looks like a stereotypical teenager, but the voiceover in the opening titles gives clues to the narrative. She's different to others because of her past. This makes her similar to the character of April in the film Dustbin Baby. On the outside, April looks like a normal teenager, but as the audience we understand that she's different, lonely, and this is because of her past. April and my character are also similar because they are the main characters and are followed by the audience throughout the films. My character and April look the same as they are both wearing outfits that you would find stereotypical teenager wearing. April in a school uniform and my character in a dungaree dress, Harrington jacket and Doc Martens. The difference between my character and April is that mine will have stronger views on society and convey a more sophisticated attitude on life. Mine also has an older audience which will understand and relate to my character and her situations. April doesn't have as strong thoughts and feelings as it is based on a children's book by Jacqueline Wilson. The character of Poppy Moore from Wild Child is a teenage girl that follows conventions and people's expectations of teenage girls. She is very different from my character as she is more girly, sociable and outgoing. Question 3. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? My film would use an independent production company as I wouldn't need the budget and production material of a big Hollywood film. I researched suitable companies to produce my film, such as the Weinstein Company and UK Film Council, and came to the conclusion of using Warp Films, an independent company from the UK. However, it will be paired with other, even smaller companies to get the best results for my audience enjoyment. Warp Films was established by Warp Records founding partners Rob Mitchell and Steve Beckett. The first film they made, Chris Morris's My Wrongs, was shot in 2002. It won the award for Best Short Film at the 2003 BAFTA Film Awards and became the first short film DVD single in the UK market. Warp Films' breakout success came with Shane Meadows' This Is England. Since its release in early 2007, it has gained many awards, including the Best Film at the British Independent Film Awards, the Special Jury Prize at the Rome Film Festival, and Best British Film at the BAFTAs. Because of its success, I felt Warp's film would be a good option to produce my film. To distribute my film, I would use major American companies such as 20th Century Fox to help with the distribution in the USA as well as the UK. Using a well-known major company will work well as they have contacts and experience in distributing films to the widest possible audience. The job titles appear in a very conventional order in my opening sequence. First comes the production company, followed by my name as the director, then the title of the film appears. These titles appear first as they are the most important. Then the main actors are shown before the writer of the book or the film was based on. Less important actors and roles in the film, for example music supervisor, are listed in small groups as the audience would be less interested in them. The last roles to appear are co-producers, producers, and finally the director's name is repeated. My name is repeated as that I have the most important role in the making of the film. As my film would be a fairly small production, I wouldn't need so many titles to appear as there would not be as many people working on the film, and the actors are less well known and don't need to be publicised too heavily to entice the audience. My film would be rated a 12, as I want some sensitive, powerful emotions and thoughts to be portrayed by my characters, and some strong language will be used. However, there will be no glamorised violence, discriminatory language or unsuitable sex scenes. Question 4. Who would be the audience for your media product? The audience for my film would be stereotypical teenagers, specifically aged 12 to 20, that can relate to my character. They would be mainly females as the film is from a girl's point of view and about her thoughts and feelings towards society. However, the content will not be too girly and some aspects will apply to males to slightly broaden my audience. As my audience is stereotypical teenagers, they are most likely to buy their clothes from Topshop and Urban Outfitters, which sell typical and fashionable teenage clothes. They would also listen to stereotypical, well-known teenage music in the charts, such as Bastille, the 1975, and Arctic Monkeys. They would probably watch TV shows such as Teen Wolf, Waterloo Road, and The Vampire Diaries. These are all popular with teenagers, especially females, and are all the same genre as my film, drama. Other drama films which would appeal to my audience are Submarine and Perks of Being a Wallflower, as they have similar characters and are the same genre. Question 5. How did you attract and address your audience? The unique selling point in my opening titles that will attract the audience is that there is only one character introduced. This implies her loneliness and keeps the audience wanting to know her story and what's wrong with her. The use of a voiceover also keeps the audience intrigued, as it gives clues towards the narrative, but doesn't reveal too much of the storyline. This makes the audience want to watch on and find out her story. My film is also unique, as it is a rare film from the point of a lonely English teenager trying to understand society, using a voiceover to express her thoughts to the audience. In my film, I've used music I would expect the target audience of stereotypical teenagers to listen to, so they are attracted to my film. My opening titles are similar to those of the biopic drama Nowhere Boy, about John Lennon's adolescence, as both openings give an insight into the main character's personality, John Lennon being a rebellious teenager and my character being a lonely, struggling teenager. Question 6. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? Oops. I have learned a lot about a range of different technologies from the process of constructing my product, which help create the best possible opening sequence. Firstly, I learnt more about using a video camera, tripod and lighting equipment. I had already used a camera and tripod for the production of my preliminary task, but my skills expanded while filming my opening titles, as I used different angles and techniques. For example, I tried this low angle shot for when my character sits on the climbing frame. However, I didn't use it as it made her look intimidating and powerful, which is not the image I wanted to create. I chose to use a normal long shot so my character seems equal to the audience. I had never used lighting equipment before, so this was a new experience. As part of my pre-production, I tested different lighting to see what would work best and came to the conclusion that minimal lighting was key. To edit my film, I used Final Cut Pro. I had already used this program for my preliminary task, which meant I had some existing knowledge. However, I wanted different effects and styles in my opening sequence, so I learnt various new skills in Final Cut Pro. This included different, more interesting transitions between clips, such as the dip to white fade used before my flashback, and adding a voiceover to my film, which was done using a microphone. I also used Photoshop to edit the text from my film. I managed to do this successfully, as I have used the program many times before. I learned more about various websites such as YouTube, Blogger and Sound Bible while making my film. I was already aware of YouTube and Blogger, but I extended my knowledge by learning how to upload videos to YouTube and then onto my blog, and how to create and use my blog as a whole. To get diegetic sound for my opening sequence, I used a website called Sound Bible, which I had never used before. I successfully managed to download the clips I needed and place them into my film. I did the same for the non-diegetic music in my film, which I found on the website Freestock Music. Another website I used was The Font. I had used this website before to obtain existing style fonts, and it worked well for me. This is where the text for my title Moonflower came from. Question 7. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to full product? Since filming my preliminary task, I have a better understanding of the film industry, and I feel I've learnt a great deal more about how to make a professional film. I am now able to successfully pitch and plan an idea for a film and produce it using various skills and techniques. While working and looking back on my preliminary task, I have learnt how to change camera angles and lighting to make the picture look much more exciting and appealing. Costume and setting have also become more important to me as they add to the realism of the film. Although I did not use them in my opening titles, I have a much better knowledge of the 180-degree rule, match on action and shot reverse shot. I have also included many more effects in the editing process of my production than I did in my preliminary task. Thank you for watching.